Today on Robert's Guitar Dungeon, expensive cables versus cheap cables. High-end cables versus low-end cables. Does it really matter? Welcome back to the latest episode of Ask RGD. If you are unfamiliar with Ask RGD, or you are new to this channel, or this is simply the first time you have ever seen an Ask RGD video, the rules here are very, very simple. You ask me a guitar or guitar gear related question, and I answer it in a video. So this episode's question comes from user Don't De-Rock Me Riz. Interesting screen name. This was in response to the last RGD, which of course was about coated guitar strings. Link to that video will be down. I'll post it up here. So after his comment about guitar strings, he goes on to say, "Hey Robert, how about a chord test demo? Expensive such as Monster or Rattlesnake versus cheap ones such as various Amazon ones for like $5. So as I often try to do, you tell me you want to see it, I try to make it happen. So here is what we're going to do. We are going to conduct a couple of experiments here using expensive cables and cheap cables. Let's start with the expensive cables. First, we are going to demo, this is a Mogami Gold Series instrument cable. This particular one happens to have an angle on the end. But this cable, brand new, costs, I believe, about $69.95. These cables are not cheap. Okay? Mogami even backs their cables with a full lifetime warranty for as long as you own it. If anything happens to it, they will replace it for free. That is also honored by just about all of their dealers. So, for example, in the really unlikely event that one of these things shorts out on you, I've been using these things for years. I've never had one short out. But in the unlikely event that it does happen or something like that happens, I can take this thing back into Guitar Center. They will swap it out for me. No questions asked. They will take this cable, send it back to Mogami, give me a brand new one and a brand new package along with a receipt for the brand new one, and send me back out the door. End of story. Like I said, I've been using Mogami cables for the better part of 15 years now. I have never had one short out. I've had to buy more cables since then because I have needed them for various different applications. I've needed various lengths, and in one instance I even had a couple stolen from me that I had to replace. They won't cover that, obviously. But beyond that, I have never once had a single problem with these cables. They pass an excellent signal. They're built extremely well. Made in Japan. Very, very high grade alloys. All that stuff. So, top-notch cables right here. Comparing to, this cable here is, I believe, called a Roadhog cable. And this cable, brand new, I think I paid about $8 or $10 for it, maybe. This cable here is, heavier because it's likely mostly rubber. This is a model number called an RH186, and if you really want to know exactly what this cable is, when you walk into Guitar Center and they got those bottom half of the mic stands with the round bases, and then they got just a stack of, inexpensive instrument cables. Some of them are the black rubber ones, some of them are like that cloth woven stuff, yet they all have the same serial number and or the same barcode and ring up exactly the same, and they're all really, really inexpensive, and doesn't matter what it looks like, they consider it the same cable because they're that cheap. That's what this is. So both of these cables are essentially both these cables are have gold plated ends. They're both 18.5 feet long. For all intents and purposes, it is a very high-end expensive cable versus a very, very cheap cable that most people would only buy if they're that desperate for an instrument cable. And they just, that's all they can afford. Which is okay, by the way. Just for an added variable and to make this experiment a little bit more fun, and I am also going to compare these with my custom-made Hello cable that they made for me directly because they actually were kind enough to put me on their website as a Hello Cables artist. So, I did a video a few months back dedicated specifically to Hello Cables. Several of you fine viewers were kind enough to support them and actually place orders with them. I have heard nothing but good things back from those of you that did. I would encourage you, if you were in the market for cables, to definitely check out Hello Cables. I will post their links down in the description as well. Essentially what these are a high-end cable without the high-end price tag. They pass a good signal. They're built very, very well, and the owner happens to be one of my best friends, so I definitely try to support them whenever I can. This is about a 10-foot instrument cable. They use Amphenol ends as opposed to Neutrix or whatever these cheap things are. This cable here would probably cost, it's right in the middle price wise, I think probably somewhere in the neighborhood about $30-$35. So like I said, I'm going to compare this one with the other two again, just to make this a little bit more fun. Okay, so there you heard examples of all three cables going back to back to back. The only difference in the signal path between all three of those examples was the cable. So, we're not done though. We're going to try one more thing. When it comes to recording demos, I generally prefer to mic up amplifiers, particularly in this room, just because I happen to like sometimes the added character that a microphone will give to a guitar tone on a recording. However, let's get the cleanest, most direct, uninhibited signal that we possibly can. I am going to plug all three of them directly into my Tascam 24 track. So the only thing that in the signal path, this is going to be a guitar plugged into the Tascam, nothing in between. That is as clean of a signal as we can get. Let's check out this comparison. So there you have it. I will allow you to draw your own conclusions as far as whether or not the higher end expensive cables are actually worth the money. My opinion, I happen to like the higher end cables, particularly because of the kind of stuff that I do, which, for pro level work especially, I need the higher end build quality. I cannot risk one of these things failing at the most inopportune time. That is my biggest concern with these. As far as signal goes, particularly in a live situation, I actually do carry this particular cable with me for a backup, just in case, I do have, one of my expensive ones go down. But here in the studio, in recording situations, I always use one of my higher end cables. So do with that what you will. Please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are regarding the ever ongoing cable battle. High end versus low end. Does it really matter? Links to all the gear used in this video will be down in the description as always. Also, you will find links to various forms of communication directly to me. Should you have a question that you would like to submit to Ask RGD in hopes of having it answered in an Ask RGD video, you can contact me directly via email. My email address is listed down below. Also, you can also contact me via Facebook Messenger. You can contact me via the contact form directly on my website. And you can also comment down below. If you leave a comment down below, I will assume that you do not mind me using your screen name directly. If you choose one of those other methods, I will assume that you prefer to remain anonymous, and I will make sure that you stay that way. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit the alert icon to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Me and my cheap cables. We'll see you in the next video.